Minnesota Sports Hub. It's the Morning Sports Desk, presented by Wadena's Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade. Available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts, and streaming on YouTube.
It is the Morning Sports Desk on a Friday, the 28th of March. I'm CJ Baumgartner. No Corey Tackman with me. We had a chance earlier in the week to talk with Wadena Deer Creek head volleyball coach and now retired head volleyball coach Sue Volkmann in an interview, and we got to chat a little bit with her. I'm going to tell you about that interview, and we're going to let you hear it in just a second. But before we do that, we want to shout out the good folks at the Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade in Wadena who help make the Morning Sports Desk possible. And not only that, they want to make an ultimate birthday party giveaway possible as well. Birthdays are meant to be celebrated, and a party at the FunZone Arcade, and it's the ultimate celebration. Their birthday party giveaway will award one lucky winner a FunZone Arcade party package valued at $500. This package includes a FunZone Arcade birthday party at the FunZone Arcade location of your choice, plus $150 in FunZone cards. Sounds pretty darn good. I'm 27 years old. I think my birthday party should be at the FunZone Arcade. Scan the QR code below and submit your entry by March 31st. You only have a few more days to do that for your chance to win. And you can check out all of their full lineup at the Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade in Wadena on Facebook. And you can see all of the deals they have, all of the great pictures of the pizza, the chicken, the dessert pizza, just take your pick, salad bar. There's a whole ton of things going on at Wadena's Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade. They do a lot of great stuff, not only at the FunZone Arcade to get to play the games, but also great prizes. We just gave away on yesterday's show an autographed Wade Boggs jersey, courtesy of the Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade, because those mystery jersey boxes are things you can win yourself at the Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade in Wadena. Always a spot for a great time and the ultimate birthday party giveaway. All right, now we're going to play a little bit of the interview with Coach Volkmann. Here's what that sounded like. I'm CJ Baumgartner, joined with Corey Tackman. And Corey, we have a guest here that we are really excited to talk with.
Yeah, indeed we are, and I guess this is the first time we get to ever introduce her as former Wadena Deer Creek head volleyball coach, Sue Volkmann. Sue, how does it feel to have that former in front of that title?
Well, it's all kind of new right now, so it still doesn't feel like that I'm really doing this, and probably till this fall, because I'm still involved with the JO program this spring, so I'm still kind of doing a lot of things with the volleyball program.
Sure. And let's go all the way back to the beginning, Sue. Let's go to when you first got that head coach title in front of your name. Just kind of give us the story. What was it like when you officially got that job?
Well, I had just finished college and my student teaching, and I was looking for teaching jobs. And actually, the Deer Creek superintendent called me and asked if I'd be interested in a position that they had just had opened up. And I told him I was, and so I went over there to talk to him, signed the contract, and then he told me, oh, by the way, you're the head volleyball coach. So being young and wanting a job, you do whatever you have to do.
Yeah, and what was kind of like you said, it was a little surprising, but what was some of the feelings kind of once that initially went away? How excited were you to kind of get going and, like you talked about, kind of get that title thrust upon you?
Well, I always wanted to be into coaching, and volleyball was really something new. I had played basketball and softball in college, and it was always kind of basketball was the one that I always wanted to coach one day. And so volleyball, it just kind of happened to fall into my lap, and I really enjoyed it and learned a lot and just kept at it.
Did you always like sports? Did you always want to coach? Was there a coach who inspired you to get into that line of work, I guess?
Well, I think I can't really think of anyone who really stands out. It's just something that I wanted for myself to do. And being a young woman during that era, you just kind of had to have the initiative and the drive to want to do it. So, and that was always my goal. So it was more inside me that wanted to do it rather than an outside influence.
Sure. And, what's some of the biggest things that you've kind of learned along the way? What was some of the big adjustments that when you're like, oh, I got this, and you're like, oh, I really got to get this down if I want to make it as a head coach?
Well, you really have to have your ducks in a row. You really have to be well planned and cross all the T's and dot all the I's and be organized. And, the kids need to trust in you too, that you know what you're teaching them and what you're doing is right. Not saying that, I knew all those things, but I mean, if you feel that, they look at you and respect you as a coach and what you're trying to do, it makes it a lot easier.
And like you said, you started out coaching in Deer Creek, and kind of obviously that was before Wadena Deer Creek kind of came into the fold here. What was that transition like? And just kind of talk about being the head coach. I mean, you're the only head coach ever of the Wadena Deer Creek volleyball program. Just kind of how was that transition, and what was it like kind of building it from the ground up?
Well, actually, I had a 2 years there where I wasn't coaching, so it was when Deer Creek and Wadena were in negotiations to pair. So there was 2 years there that I wasn't coaching. So when I started coaching in Wadena, they had already been paired for a couple of years.
Sure. And what was it like, kind of obviously then as the majority kind of head coach at the time, what was it like kind of getting that together and building it and just kind of seeing it grow over the years?
Well, I walked into a program where the off-season teams, like the JO programs, really weren't being used at the time at Wadena Deer Creek. And so we incorporated that, and that took a while to get its footing, to getting people interested. It kind of started at the top with the varsity level kids, and then we gradually worked our way down, and now it's a huge program in our school and our building blocks for our varsity team.
And, as you look back on your coaching career, what are some of, I know that there's a couple I'm sure that'll come right off the top of the head, but what are some of the big moments of your coaching career that you are always going to be really proud of?
Well, obviously it's winning the state tournament and going undefeated that season. It was really special because two of my daughters played big roles on that team as well. And the kids I had at that time, the families were really close on top of it. We were good friends with a lot of them. And so, it kind of really was that family-orientated idea of that team. And those parents and kids are still really close to this day. So, that one's going to really stand out.
And, with everything in that season, of course, everybody's talked about it a whole lot, but let's talk about it one more time. Just with that whole season and obviously the tornado in town and kind of going through that whole thing together, how important was that volleyball season and how important was it just to kind of keep that team together, knowing that you guys could still be pretty good given all the circumstances?
Well, we knew going into the season that we were going to have a good year and a good chance to go back to state just because we were consolation champs the year before and we had everybody coming back. So it was just, once the year started, it just kind of brought everybody back together. We got scattered around that summer and didn't really get to play a lot of volleyball that summer together. But we were always together. The kids were out helping out at the farm a lot, and so the kids were always kind of together anyway. But coming together and starting that year, and it just gave the town something to rally behind and be with. And we did different things using the elementary school with the chairs and everything. So it was a pretty special time. You really felt proud of the community and proud of the kids.
And, like you talked about the kids, and there's a lot of kids that have gone through this program, a lot of kids who have gone on to play collegiately, and just you guys have really done a good job developing players throughout the years. What do you think is kind of the biggest thing that's required to develop volleyball players, and has that changed over your coaching career?
Oh, I think it's, we've been really blessed with the kids we've had. They've been great kids, and they get all the recognition for all the success that we have. They just come in and want to work hard and want to be successful, and we have been successful. So they kind of come in wanting to carry that on and know what it takes and being very coachable. That's the biggest thing, that they're really buying into the program and what we want to accomplish. And, they're excellent students and they just want to be there, and that makes it all the easier.
And, now kind of looking at some of the more recent runs that you guys have had, obviously you went to the state tournament a couple of years ago. You gave the eventual state champions all they could handle this year in the 8AA semifinal game. What's it? What was the kind of more recent run of Wadena Deer Creek volleyball here, where you guys had a state tournament team? I guess just with that, how special is it to know that you've taken multiple teams to the state tournament?
Well, the biggest thing is that it gives the kids a chance to play at the XL Energy Center, and every time we go is very special. It's just the more you can give a kid that opportunity. Just to be there and be a part of it is a huge thing, and it's something that they'll never forget, whether you go down there and you win the state or you win a couple games or play in a couple games. It's just something that is so very special, and the more you can give that to a kid, the better you feel about it.
And you had the opportunity over the last handful of years here to coach with your daughter. How special was that? Just knowing that you got to coach her growing up, and then now she's kind of right there on the bench with you.
Oh, that's just extremely excellent. I mean, Courtney's a great kid. She's, we're always on the same page, and she's always there. She's very intelligent, very smart coach, and the kids love her, and it's a very special thing.
And, when was it for you that kind of it started to think of the R word, the retirement? When did that eventually kind of creep into your head of like, okay, maybe it's time to kind of take a break or just kind of step down? I know it's kind of different for everybody. When was that moment for you where you're like, you know what, I think I've given it all I've gotten?
I think it's been probably the last couple of years, and really just this past year. I think because there's a lot of good people coaching in our program right now, and we have some past players who have young girls that are starting. Those girls are getting older, and they're going to come back into the program eventually too. So it just seems to be on good footing. It's a good developed program. We're getting more parents involved in the coaching part of it who have played volleyball in high school that now are giving back, and I just thought it was a good time for me to find out what a September is really like, and kind of enjoy some free time, and it's left in good hands.
Yeah, exactly. It might be good just to have an off night on a Tuesday in September every once in a while. But I know, Sue, you're probably not going to be too far away from the program. Like you talked about, you're helping out a little bit in JO over the course of the spring and summer here. But kind of what does a retired Coach Volkmann look like during the volleyball season? Are you going to poke in the gym every now and again? Or are you maybe going to give it a little time and to let it breathe? Or kind of what's your plans now come this fall, now that you're not the head coach?
Well, I'm going to step away from it just because, I just want to sit back and enjoy it. I don't want to be a part of it and have a commitment to it anymore. I just want to have time to Tim and I take some time off and do some things in this September, because that's his kind of downtime too. And we plan to do a little bit more traveling.
All right, awesome. That's great to hear. Sue, I just got one or two more questions here for you, and we'll let you get out of here. But, like you said, you got into coaching. You didn't really know it was going to be volleyball, but you knew you wanted to coach. What advice do you have for new coaches who are kind of coming up through the ranks? What's your advice to any new coach who maybe wants to get into that realm and just kind of maybe needs a little advice?
Well, my biggest hope is that the administration will be behind them and support them. I was very fortunate. I didn't run into a lot of parent issues, especially these last 20 years. But I know that can be a problem, and I just hope that, administrations will back their people they put into coaching, because they're really hard to find. People just don't want to coach anymore. So, they need all the support they can get, and, then to have, thick skin, because you got to implement a lot of things. You got to make some decisions that aren't always popular. And, you set your goals and you do what you believe is right.
Sue, as we wrap up our conversation here, is there anything about your time coaching, any memories, any stories? Is there anything that you just kind of want to let people know about? Is there anything while we got you here, any kind of big story that you had or any kind of moment that's going to, I know we talked about kind of the moment in coaching, but is there anything else that you want to talk about while we have you here and get a chance to kind of hear your story?
Well, I grew up in Wadena. I've been here since day one, and I really love the community, and the people that I have met along the way in the community are really special. So it was a really special thing to be able to do this in my hometown and at the school and with the kids. You know, a lot of them I know their parents and grandparents, and it's been a lot of fun with that aspect of it. You really take pride in your hometown, and you take ownership of it and wanted to make the town proud of you as well. And so I think, you know, I've had so much support in the community that it's just been a pleasure to be able to do this in front of them. So I always remember the town and, you know, starting out in Deer Creek and living in Bluffton. So, you know, the three areas that make up Wadena Deer Creek are very special to me.
We're talking with former Wadena Deer Creek head volleyball coach Sue Volkmann. Coach, appreciate the time so much, and whether it's been Wolverines Weekly, whether it's just been kind of chatting pregame, it's been real great to get to talk with you over the last few years, and I'm sure we'll bump into each other over a volleyball game or two, maybe in a couple falls from now or something.
That's true, yes. Will do.
That was former Wadena Deer Creek head volleyball coach Sue Volkmann. Over 600 career wins, a state championship, multiple state tournament appearances. Congratulations to Coach Volkmann in her retirement.
Powered by Wadena's Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade. Follow the Morning Sports Desk on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. And watch every show on YouTube.